Hi friends, are you ready to read chapter 8 of Chasing Helicity? Alright, here we go. Helicity emerged from the theater and looked for Mia in the lobby. Instead, she found herself face to face with Pete. He was wearing his civilian clothes, not his police uniform, so she didn't recognize him until he spoke. I'd hoped I'd see you here, he said. I think I found something of yours. He pulled out his phone and showed her a photo. Helicity gasped. Oh, that's Raven! You found him! Where is he? Is he safe? Can I see him? Pete grinned. He's fine. A farmer spotted him this morning wandering on the outskirts of town. She keeps a few horses herself, so she took him in and put him in a free stall where he'd been happy as a clam ever since. I would have let you know sooner, but I didn't know how to reach you. He handed her a slip of paper. Here's the farmer's address and contact info. For the record, she seems very nice. Maybe you could work something out with her for Raven to stay there if, well, you know. Helicity nodded her understanding. Raven's barn, like so many other buildings, had been destroyed by the tornado. Her horse was as homeless as she, her parents, and so many of their neighbors were. Helicity thanked Pete over and over, then hurried off, hoping to catch Mia. But her mother told her they had to get going. Dad and I have a lot to figure out, she said. Her father had left for in the hotel company pickup truck already. In the car, Helicity told her mother what she'd learned about Raven, including Pete's suggestion to ask if they could stable him there. Oh, honey, that's great news. I'm sure we can make it work, her mother reassured her. They picked up dinner at a fast food drive-thru, then continued on to the lakeside. In their room, her father ate his burger and fries in the kitchen countertop while his wife hunkered over the laptop. Eyes darting, she scanned the disaster relief recovery website they'd learned about in the meeting. Helicity's mother sat next to him, picking at her salad and leaning in awkwardly to get a better view of the screen. Helicity knew not to ask her father about Raven just then. She took her food into the bedroom and left the door ajar, turned on the television and ate her dinner while watching a show. The whole time, the meteorologist's card burned a hole in her pocket. When she was finished eating, she went into the bathroom, locked the door, and took the card out and her phone. She thumbed to her phone cache to pull up the first image she'd taken of the brewing store. With quick flicks of her fingertips, she swiped through one after another. Then she opened the first video. It's about to get walloped, her recorded voice echoed off the tiles in the bathroom. She hurriedly decreased the volume and then watched with fascination as the storm unfolded on the tiny screen. Helicity watched the second video too. She heard herself say, Raven, I think we'd better. Then the picture jerked violently, marking the moment the tornado alert had blared, and she dropped the phone. Aside from that abrupt ending, the video itself looked good as Helicity had seen of storms. So did the photos. They captured the dramatic transformation playing out in the horizon. The cloud movement, flashes of lightning, the thickening wall cloud, and the darkening green-black sky. She turned Lana's business card around in her hand. I could just send one to her. A few quick taps on the screen is all it would take. Then I could throw away her card and that would be the end of it. Except she didn't want to end there. Meteorologist and storm chaser. Those job titles reached out and grabbed Helicity. She'd always been drawn to the weather, its power, its changeable nature, its beauty and fury. To her, it was living, breathing entity. As a young child, she pictured it as having moods: warm and sunny, gray and gloomy, cold and aloof, rainy and sad, windy and playful. As she grew older, she became interested in the atmospheric forces that caused those moods to change. Wind, moisture, pressure, temperature. There was so much more about the weather that she didn't know, and so much she wanted to understand. The atmosphere was a puzzle she needed to solve. In fact, that desire to understand was the reason she'd even considered bumping up to the honors level science and math classes. A solid grasp of both subjects was critical to understanding the forecasting of the weather. Even though she was only 13, soon to be 14, she didn't want to risk falling behind, not if she could prevent it. Meteorologist and storm chaser. The first was Helicity's secret dream career. As for the second, she'd viewed hundreds of clips of shaky, rain-spattered video taken from dashboard and handheld cams by storm chasers racing to the teeth of the extreme weather phenomena. The fierce winds, driving rain, snow, and hail that blasted the vehicles sometimes drowned out the audio, but the chasers' exhilaration, awe, and raw fear still came through loud and clear, leaving Helicity with the strong impression that pursuing storms, especially tornadoes, was very important, potentially dangerous, and absolutely thrilling. And now she'd met a woman who did both things she longed to do. She traced her finger over Lana's name and thought back to the encounter at the auditorium. As brief as it had been, she felt a connection spark between them. The meteorologist had come across as confident, strong, and intelligent. She could easily imagine Lana shouting instructions to a driver, urging him or her to get them closer to the raging tempest. Man, how awesome would it be to hear her experiences, to pick her brain, to learn from her. Contact her, an inner voice encouraged her, before this chance slips away. But another voice rang out just as loudly. Destroy the card, delete the photos and the video before your father finds out, it warned sternly. She stared at herself in the mirror. Hey, she whispers after a long moment. You're not a victim, you're a survivor. Take control of what happens next. She brushed a lock of hair away from her forehead and lifted her chin. Or do you want to be a survivor who takes charge of what happened next? Helicity made up her mind. She chose the best storm photo and, thumbs flying over the phone's tiny touchpad, typed a text. Hi, Mrs. McElvey. It's me, the girl from the auditorium. Here's a photo I took of the storm. I don't know if it's any good, but I have others if you want to see them. There are 2 videos too. Thanks, Helicity Dunlap. She hit send before she could change her mind. Then she sagged against the bathroom counter. Well, she thought, that's it. Either Lana McElvey would respond to her or she wouldn't. And either her father would find out and be even more furious with her, or he wouldn't. Andy's advice to make herself useful popped into her head then. She pocketed her phone and Lana's card and went into the sitting room, intending to ask her parents if there was anything she could do for them. But the perfect idea came to her when she spied the shopping bags full of clothes still on the sofa. She dumped the contents onto the table, retrieved a steak knife from the kitchen, and began cutting off sales tags. Her parents looked up from the laptop. What are you doing, hon? Her mother asked, perplexed. You guys are really busy, so I thought I'd do our laundry, Helicity replied, unearthing a small bottle of detergent from another bag. Would that be okay? Mrs. Dunlap blinked in surprise. That would be great, actually. Thank you. Helicity's father raised his eyebrows and then nodded approvingly. He pulled out his wallet and removed some money along with the room keys. You'll need cash for the laundry. Oh, and I saw some vending machines by the elevator. Get us all some M&Ms on your way back, why don't you, kiddo? No peanut ones, you know. You know how I feel about them, he winked at her. As she took the money and the key, Helicity sent Andy a silent thank you for his advice. And then she said in an ultra-serious voice, only peanut ones, got it. Her joke earned her a smile from her father. She bagged the laundry, headed out the door, and rode the elevator to the basement floor. She'd only done laundry a few times in her life, but fortunately instructions for using the machines were posted on the wall. She had just stuffed the first loads into the washer when her phone buzzed, alerting her that she had an incoming text. Lana? Her stomach flip-flopped, but the text was from Mia asking her to call if she could. Helicity dialed the number right away. Mia launched into the conversation without so much as a hello. Please tell me you'll be there tomorrow. Be where? Helicity asked. School at the community college, remember? Mia replied, I need to know someone else is going. Helicity had forgotten about school. I'm sure I will be. She said my mom might have to have some work to do at the college anyway. Okay, good. Do you need me to bring you anything? Clothes, shoes, whatever? Helicity smiled, imagining her lankier frame squeezed into Mia's petite-sized shirt and even smaller sneakers. No, I'm all set for the next few days. Mom and I shopped earlier and now I'm doing the laundry. Laundry? You? Wow, impressive. They talked a while longer, then Helicity heard voices in the background on Mia's end. Mia sighed. That's my grandmother calling. She wants me to walk her dog. I'll see you tomorrow. Mia hung up after getting Helicity to promise to meet her on the front steps of the community college's main building in the next morning. An instant later, Helicity's phone rang. Assuming it was Mia calling about something she'd forgotten to say, she answered with the tone of fake exasperation. Now what do you want? Silence greeted her. Then a woman asked, This is Lana McElvey. May I speak to Helicity Dunlap? Helicity gulped. Mrs. McElvey? She stammered with embarrassment. I am so sorry. I thought you were my friend, Mia. Lana chuckled. It was a soothing sound. Oh, no worries, and please call me Lana. Now, before I ask you anything else, I have to know, is your name really Helicity, or were you just trying to get my attention by using that term? No, Helicity said. That's my name. I got it in honor of my grandmother, Doris Picasso. Doris Picasso? Lana echoed. You don't mean Doris Picasso, the physicist, do you? Yeah, that's her. She was my mom's mother. No way, Lana sounded impressed. I've read some of her work. She was brilliant. Do you mind if I ask what she was like? I wish I could tell you, Helicity replied with regret, but she died before I was born. Lana was quiet, and then she asked Helicity how and her family were doing, where they were staying, and other similar questions. After Helicity answered them all, Lana said, "So tell me, Helicity Dunlap, how long have you been a weather junkie?" "How did you know?" Helicity asked, surprised. "You know that expression, 'it takes one to know one'?" Lana said. "Well, I am one, so I recognized you as one. And I've met a few like us in my travels. Maybe someday I'll introduce you to them. In the meantime, about that photo you sent." Helicity held her breath. It was a fantastic image. I'd love to see what else you've got." "Really?" Helicity's voice came out as high-pitched as a squeak of delight. Lana chuckled again. "Absolutely. I heard your school is holding classes at the community college. I have an office there. Think you can squeeze some time out of your day tomorrow to visit me so I can meet the granddaughter of Doris Picasso and see her other pics?" "I sure. Who are you talking to?" Helicity whirled around to find her father standing in the laundry room doorway. They locked eyes. "Hello? Helicity, you there?" Lana asked. Yeah," Helicity answered, still held by the grip of her father's stare. "But I have to go." "Oh, okay, see you tomorrow though, right?" Helicity hung up without replying, so Mr. Dunlap leaned on the door jamb, narrowed his eyes. "Care to tell me who that was?" All right, we'll do chapter 9.